Over the last few months, there have been numerous alleged story leaks for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Some of them were misdirects, others were accurate at one point but taken out in reshoots and editing, while others still remain true and will be in the final movie. On December 10th, less than 2 weeks before the movie opens, a new alleged story leak has emerged. And on the same day, one aspect of this leak was confirmed to be accurate by a very, very official source, which adds to the plausibility that the rest of the leak might be on the money too. If you don't want spoilers, then click away now. Go watch our Conan or Ghostbusters retrospectives or something else, because we are about to enter spoiler territory. Reddit user Jedi Praxis, who has supplied leaks for The Rise of Skywalker and for The Force Awakens, has re-emerged with yet another set of plot leaks posted on Reddit. We covered some of his earlier plot leaks in a previous video. If you haven't already, check it out and it'll bring you up to speed. As usual, we must take much of this information with a grain of salt. However, there are a couple of things in the leak that have been officially confirmed as 100% accurate, because they come directly from the sovereign nation of Sweden. As usual, if you don't want to hear potential spoilers, please stop this video right now. If you're still listening, then don't say we didn't warn you. The movie begins with Kylo Ren slaughtering his way through what is described as red-lit woods trying to find Darth Vader's Wayfinder. The Wayfinder is a triangular, pyramid-shaped object that Kylo Ren uses as a sort of GPS device. He uses it to guide him to the planet Exegol, which he has to fly through a red nebula as seen in the TV spots. He arrives on Exegol and finds a science lab. He then hears the voice of Palpatine saying that he made Snoke and he has been the one manipulating everything from behind the scenes. Palpatine is revealed in a flash of lightning. He has white eyes and a metal arm that is attached to his back, but we don't see where it leads to. Palpatine talks about creating his large armada and orders Kylo Ren to find Rey. By that he thinks it means he has to kill her, but Palpatine warns him she is not what you think she is. The film cuts to an asteroid field made of ice. Chewie, Poe, and Finn are playing holochess and they accuse Chewbacca of cheating. Then there's a scene where an informant is being pressed for information. He gives Finn and Poe a satchel with background info and they press him for the name of the mole, but he refuses. Meanwhile, Rey is training on a jungle planet and is becoming frustrated as she gets too careless with her lightsaber. As a result, a tree falls and damages BB-8. The Falcon lands on fire from damage caused by light speed skipping, and a ground crew rush to put it out. Finn, Poe, and Rey are reunited. The First Order and Palpatine's forces are going to be combined in what's known as the Final Order. As it turns out, Luke was searching for Exegol, but he couldn't find it. The source claims that Rose Tico is relegated to being a background character and does little else but give motivational speeches. In a meeting with officers discussing the First Order spy, Poe says the name Hux, but immediately changes the subject. The source also claims that this meeting is the first time we see General Pryde. It's mentioned that he served under Palpatine in the Empire. Kylo and Rey force bond on Pasaana. She snaps out of it and is recognized by stormtroopers. The locals handle them, who are led by Lando Calrissian. In a speeder chase in the desert, a stormtrooper is flung on a speeder and causes everyone to land in quicksand. Finn tries to say something to Rey, but she submerges too quickly. When they get sucked into the sand, Poe asks Finn and Rey if they're okay. 3PO says that he didn't hear them say his name, but that he was fine also. Beneath the sand, in a series of tunnels, Poe asks Finn what he was going to say to Rey. Finn says that he'll tell him later. Looking for an exit, they run into a sandworm. Rey goes up behind it and heals it with her life force. The sandworm slithers away, revealing an exit. The droid Dio is found on Ochi's ship and is very timid because apparently he was abused by him, speaking only when spoken to. And BB-8 reboots him. Chewbacca wanders off looking for Rey and gets captured by stormtroopers, who may be the Knights of Ren according to the source, who just so happened to capture him. Finn goes to find Chewbacca and sees him being led away in handcuffs boarding a transport. After seeing this, Finn goes to tell Poe. Later, we find out that Kylo pushes the transport that Rey thinks Chewbacca is on in order to push her limits. During Rey's flip scene, as seen in the teaser trailer, she slices the wing off of Kylo Ren's TIE fighter and he crashes. Zori Bliss enters and she is extremely hostile, and she and Poe reminisce about the old times, telling him about a medallion. 3PO's memory is being hacked and he tells R2 that he has no confidence in his memory banks. 3PO's memory is wiped and he blurts out the Sith dagger's translation. When Rey grabbed the dagger in Kylo's quarters on his Star Destroyer, it gave her a vision of Ochi attacking her parents on Jakku. They left her on Jakku and they are killed in a city off-planet, but they won't reveal where Rey is. Ochi was sent to find and bring back Rey. Hux rescues everyone on the Star Destroyer and asks Poe to shoot him in the arm. Instead, he shoots him in the leg. Hux's motivation is that he wants to make sure that Kylo loses. Hux is killed by Pride after he reports the incident. The Death Star wreckage, it turns out, is on Endor as Ewoks are seen looking skyward. The source claims that Rey interacts with her own dark vision after touching the Wayfinder. The dark vision of Rey uses the folding lightsaber to trap the real Rey's lightsaber, reminding her that she could fall to the dark side, and then she comes back to reality. Rey is angrily fighting Kylo Ren on the wreckage of the Death Star. A dying Leia's final word to Kylo is her calling him by his name, Ben, and then he is stabbed by Rey through the abdomen while he's distracted. Rey then heals him. Han Solo then shows up out of nowhere. He's not a Force ghost and he's seemingly alive. He gives Kylo some words of encouragement in a scene which mirrors Han's death scene in The Force Awakens, even including the line,
"I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it."
Holding the lightsaber in the same spot, but this time throwing it into the watery wreckage of the Death Star. On Ahch-To, Luke catches the lightsaber that Rey throws into a wrecked TIE fighter that Rey flew to the planet. Luke says that it shouldn't be discarded. The source says that the scenes of young Luke and young Leia are still in the film. Leia apparently gave up her Jedi training fearing that her children could fall to the dark side. Luke and Leia know that Rey is a Palpatine. Rey transmits the location of Exegol to the Resistance, and they receive it as being from Red 5, as she is flying Luke's old X-Wing. Dio knows the way, and Lando takes the Falcon to look for reinforcements. When Rey gets to Exegol, she confronts Palpatine. He reveals that the plan all along was to retrieve her, not kill her. Palpatine taunts Rey, saying if she kills him, she'll become Empress Palpatine. Kylo Ren shows up, but not as Kylo Ren, but as Ben Solo. And Rey gives him Leia's lightsaber to make short work of the Sith troopers. Palpatine sucks out their life force, and his eyes turn from white to yellow. The Resistance fleet is outnumbered, and Lando rides into the rescue. Finn and Janna destroy an antenna to disrupt the fleet. Palpatine knows that Kylo is the last of the Skywalker line. Rey hears the voices of Yoda, Luke, Leia, Mace Windu, and others who inspire her to stand up. She blocks Palpatine's lightning, and they fight to a standoff. She draws in the other lightsaber and directs the lightning back towards Palpatine. Palpatine disintegrates, and the arena explodes, killing Rey. Kylo finds Rey's body and gives his life force over to her. He then kisses her and dies. The Resistance is now victorious. Rey goes to Tatooine to the Skywalker moisture farm to bury the lightsabers. A woman approaches her and asks Rey her name. In the distance, she sees Luke and Leia and says, "Rey Skywalker." She stares off into the twin sunsets with BB-8 and the movie ends. As you can see, several plot points are similar to the previous leaks we've covered, such as the Wayfinder, the Sith fleet, the translated Sith dagger, 3PO's memory being wiped, and the Death Star wreckage. However, we see that there are a few new details here that we haven't seen before, such as Force healing powers, Palpatine sucking the life force from Kylo and Rey, and Kylo being stabbed through the abdomen. A new source has confirmed at least 2 of these plot points. Unfortunately, to confirm these plot points, I would need to read Swedish, which I don't. However, there is someone at Midnight's Edge that does, the boss man himself, Andre. Take it from here, Andre.
So, we have come to the officially confirmed bit, and this is as official as it gets. Some background info may be in order. In the States, movies are rated by the MPAA, which is run by the film industry itself. Documentaries have been made about the problems with the MPAA, especially its at least partial lack of transparency about how movies are rated and where the line is drawn between different ratings. In other countries, such as the Nordic countries, the film industry does not get to rate itself. Instead, the government does the rating, by way of an official body. There is full transparency about the process. The rating is explained in detail, and within that explanation, spoilers may sometimes appear. That is what happened here. This isn't Disney's doing. The Swedish rating body, Statens Medieråd, meaning the State Media Council, rated Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and in the process, spoilers were given. In Swedish, of course. Now, I'm not Swedish myself. I'm from Norway, but by virtue of being Norwegian, I also understand Swedish, so let's break down what Statens Medieråd had to say about Rise of Skywalker. The presentation contains elements of frightening and threatening atmosphere, battles where people are shot, and drilled through by laser swords. Intensive space battles, powerful explosions and crashing spaceships, as well as a fright-inducing man who pulls the life force out of people. This may lead to strong feelings of fear and worry. It is therefore deemed that the presentation might be harmful for the well-being of children under the age of 11.
Star Wars is for fucking kids.
In other words, the movie, which you also might be interested to learn is 2 hours, 21 minutes and 41 seconds long, is rated PG-11 in Sweden. The real takeaway though, is that someone will be run through with a lightsaber, and someone who sounds an awful lot like Palpatine will suck the life force out of people. That's no rumor, that's straight from the Swedish state equivalent of the MPAA. And it does fit in rather nicely with the rest of the leaks.
With only 1 week to go before release, and with stars Daisy Ridley, Anthony Daniels, and John Boyega expressing disappointment, if these leaks turn out to be true, it could not bode well for the finished film. If the film fails to deliver, it could be a blow from which the series, on film at least, will have a difficult time recovering from. Are you looking forward to The Rise of Skywalker? Let us know what you think of these plot leaks in the comments below.